let's continue with this description of the criminality of the Biden crime family. You put this all together, and you put together the testimony now under oath of Mr. Bobulinski, and what you have is Joe Biden is getting 10% of the money from communist China, 10%. And now if you want the overarching scheme that ties together all 30 years of this, let's call it the kill shot, the piece of evidence that every prosecutor dreams of. This is a text message from Hunter Biden to his daughter as she is taking on some of the responsibilities in the family. And here's what the text message reads. I love all of you, but I don't receive any respect. And that's fine, I guess. Works for you, apparently. I hope you all can do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. It's really hard, but don't worry. Unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary. Key facts. Pays for everything for 30 years, precisely the number I used a year and a half ago for the duration of the Biden crime family. And not only does he take care of expenses, including, for example, his half-sister's tuition forever, but he gives half the salary to Pop. Pop is another name for Joe Biden, AKA Big Guy, AKA Pop, AKA Crook. You need more? Every single thing I gave to you is fact. There's much, much more. I don't have time to give you much, much more. I will in subsequent podcasts. But believe me, after handling over 5,000 cases, I've rarely seen one this strong. And I've never seen such a crooked man and such a crooked family so close to running the greatest country on earth. This will be a disaster for us. This man is owned lock, stock, and barrel by China. That's why they invested this money. He's been getting this money for years. That's why people have for years said, how can Joe Biden only make the salary of a senator with a wife who's a teacher and have five homes and live like a billionaire? This is why. Because the money going to Hunter Biden goes to Joe Biden. And now doesn't that make sense? Hunter Biden has been a drug addict for all of these 30 years. Nobody's paying him this money. And everybody knows he's a drug addict. And all the photographs that I have of him being a drug addict, and all the inappropriate photographs I have of him that he describes as being very unsafe for children, Hunter, describes the photographs as being very unsafe for children. That's another email right here, just in case you think this is me, this is Hunter, and this is very serious. He says, he's talking about his sister-in-law, who was his lover. She told my therapist that I was sexually inappropriate with a 14-year-old girl when she says that I FaceTime naked with her, and the reason I can't have her out to see me is because I'll walk around naked, smoking crack, talking tom girls on FaceTime. When she was pressed, she said that I never said anything like that. But the bottom line is that I created a very unsafe environment for the kids. There are numerous text messages, emails, and photographs that support that. I brought this to the Delaware police within 4 days of seeing it. Joe Biden's been sitting on it for 3 years, so I conclude with the following observation. You may feel sorry for Hunter Biden. I do. I say, 30, 40 years ago, if that were my son and he were a drug addict, I'd get him treatment. I'd never put him in this kind of business. Never have him deal with Mykola Zlochevsky, murderer, organized criminal. Elena Buturina, member of Russian organized crime, close to Putin. Never have him deal with Xi Jinping, intelligence operative, organized criminal, high member of the Communist Party, and now executed, probably, and sitting in the Yangtze River. Or Patrick Ho, who gets arrested in the middle of this partnership. And the first person he asks for is James Biden. And of course, law enforcement does nothing with it but cover it up. Law enforcement has covered all of this up. So here's what emerges in the end. You're the only ones who can save this country. I can't save this country. I've done everything I can. I've been called every name in the book and sued and threatened with you can't imagine what. It makes me proud of myself that I'm able to do it anyway. So I'm a strange bird, all right? My father brought me up that way, and the mafia didn't stop me, and the FARC didn't stop me, and Islamic terrorists didn't stop me, and this low-level trash isn't going to stop me, because that's what they are, who somehow got near the White House, but don't let them get the White House. American people have common sense and decency. You got to stop these people. You got to get out and vote. You vote. You vote them down. You get them out, and I promise you that I will expend as much effort to clean this up so we no longer have censorship, and so we get these crooked politicians out of Washington, Republican or Democrat. There's just a few of them. They go back to the Clinton era. It's not just Democrats. It's mostly Democrats, but it's not just Democrats. Let's get rid of them all. Let's really drain the swamp this time. Really drain it. Now that we know what it really is, I never thought it was this bad. I thank you very, very much for your attention. I ask you to keep tuning in because there's much more of this. I try to keep it to the most relevant. Thank you, and let's end by just quietly tuning out and saying a prayer to God that he'll save our republic from this kind of corruption, depravity, and disaster.